cannot believe it's been a month since we did this. I am going to let some of you guys start to jump on. I am so excited. So thank you for joining us. If you have never met me before, I am Erin, and we do these once a month right here, same place, the third or fourth Thursday of every month, whichever one this is. And we always try to bring you something super tangible that you can take back, that you can implement starting tomorrow, that you feel like I can just sit down at lunch and walk away with something that is really going to change my life. Nothing too big, but just maybe something a little bit smaller. So that is how we got here today. It is almost the holidays. They start next week, a week from today. Who is ready? I am not. But I did hear that I have to buy my Thanksgiving food this weekend because they're saying there might be a shortage. So I will be ready soon. But I thought, what is the perfect lunch and learn going into the holidays? And I could not think of anything better than this person that's going to be joining us today. If you've seen her live, you already know she's going to be phenomenal. But Miss Hailee Bland Walsh, who's going to be speaking about balance is, and we're going to say BS, and I haven't even had this conversation with her yet, but LinkedIn's licenses are so stringent that if we say the actual word, I could get my LinkedIn Live license pulled. So we're going to call it BS, and I should have told her that beforehand, but I'm going to bring her on right now. She's one of my favorite people in the world, one of my dearest friends, Hailee.
Hi. You didn't tell me that because you knew I would say that is BS.
It is BS, but yes, that is like their number one rule. Like
that you can't use adult language?
Not on LinkedIn. It's a business focused platform.
Wow. Well, I know some really phenomenal business folks who use adult language.
I've been to those same happy hours. I am so excited.
Hi, Deborah.
We're getting people to jump on, give them a couple of minutes, but kind of give people a little bit of an overview. How do you end up here today, and what do you do? Who are you?
How did I end up here today? You're my friend, and you asked me to do so many things that I say no to that I finally said yes to something. We'll get into that with the balances BS talk. And so a little bit about me. I'm the owner and founder of City Gym, which is located in Waldo. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary this summer. I'm also co-founder of a new fitness concept called Fit Truck, fully equipped mobile outdoor gym, pandemic-proof fitness. I am active in volunteer work in the Kansas City community. I am obsessed with empowering folks and inspiring people to be the biggest, fullest versions of themselves. And so that's why I created this talk, Balance is BS, because I want to break us out of this feeling of shame and guilt so that we can accomplish all the things we're meant to do.
Well, I'm super excited about this. I do want everyone, if you're on here, it's already hard enough. Because I'm going to get out of here in a second. It's already hard enough to talk to yourself on screen like Hailee's going to do today. So make sure you tell us you're on here. Tell us if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. We will pull them up while she's talking. If you have your privacy settings, I'll still pull them up, but this is what you look like. So go fix your privacy settings. And you've already got so many people on here. You got Deborah, you got Isaac, you got this person. So
hi, excited. Hi, LinkedIn user.
Random LinkedIn user. I'll figure out who that is. All right. Are you ready for me to leave?
I'm ready for you to leave.
All right. Here we go. Let me get out of here. And
hi, everybody. For those of you who are just joining me, my name is Hailee Bland Walsh. Like I said a few seconds ago, I'm the owner and founder of City Gym, located in Waldo in Kansas City, Missouri, and the co-founder of a new fitness concept called Fit Truck, fully equipped mobile outdoor gym. And I am so excited to be with you here today. So I am a wife. I am an entrepreneur, business owner. I am a volunteer. I sit on a couple of boards. I'm a super auntie. In fact, one of my nieces is actually in my office right now, and she's being restrained because she wants to come see me. So if she walks in, that's why. And I am a senior dog rescue mom. And so I had this really big, full, busy life. And as I was sitting on panels and talking to folks, everyone kept saying to me, how do you do it all? How do you do all things all the time? And I just started telling people the truth, that balance is BS. So, we live in a world that is obsessed with this belief that to have all things, personal fulfillment and professional achievement, that all things in your life at all times have to be in perfect balance. So like I said, my name is Hailee Bland Walsh, and I call BS. So let's just start at the top. The word balance itself, right? It insinuates what? It insinuates that all things are in equal measure at all times. In order for a scale to be balanced, you have to have equal weight on both sides, correct? So what does balance insinuate? Balance insinuates perfectionism, right? Or perfection. So in order to have all things be in balance, all things need to be perfect. And I'm here to tell you that nothing is further from the truth, right? So the truth is, many of you are already living your life this way, right? You're busy, you have families, you have businesses, you're running C-suites, you're living big, full, busy, amazing, beautiful lives. And you're already triaging what things get your time and attention, when, how, and in what measure. But what happens is, because we have been sold this lie that in order to be successful, all things have to be in balance, you run around all the time feeling guilt and shame because not everything is getting equal time and attention at all times. So I'm here to free you from that paradigm. We do not need to run around feeling guilt and shame anymore for being really great at our lives. And Erin is my beautiful assistant, and she's going to be clicking through the slideshow. So again, we live in a world obsessed with the belief that life fulfillment and achievement comes from the illusion of balance. It's just simply not true. It's simply not true. I don't know why this became such a marketing buzz, but it's on the cover of every magazine. It's the topic of books. People sit on panels and pontificate about balance. So here's what I know about living a big, full, beautiful life is that, first of all, it's messy, right? And instead of feeling ashamed of the chaos and ashamed of the mess, I'm here to help you embrace it. So the reality is that you are not going to be able to give in equal measure at all times to all things that are important to you, right? You're just not. You're not going to be able to do it. There are going to be times when you turn up the volume on that spouse relationship or partner relationship. There are going to be times when you are turning up the volume on that family relationship, kids or otherwise. There'll be times when you're turning up the volume on that work relationship. So you can't have the volume up on everything. You get cross friction, cross play. So you're going to have to turn the volume down on something to turn the volume up on something else. And you're already doing that, right? I know you are. You're out there shaking your head like, yes, I am already doing this. But then we get into this shame and guilt spiral because somehow we're not doing it correctly. So I'm here to tell you that what you're probably already doing is exactly the way that you should be living your life. But I'm going to put some emphasis on that, and we're going to talk through that a little bit. And also, I just want to say that I'm so used to doing this in front of groups of people that if you have questions or comments, please say something. Please comment in the comment section. I will either see it or Erin is going to pull it up. I want this to be as interactive as it possibly can be in this virtual environment. So, go ahead and make those comments. Erin, you want to move to the next slide for me? So I mentioned this, but I want to reemphasize, right? Balance is an illusion. Perfectionism is a trap that keeps you playing small. Guess what you can't be if you're trying to be perfect? If you're trying to be perfect, because perfection is unattainable. We know that. So in the pursuit of perfectionism, what can't you be? You can't be great at anything because you're constantly chasing the illusion of perfection. So you never get that pat on the back. You never get that medal when you cross the finish line. You never get that high five because nothing is ever enough. So what happens if we reframe that? Erin, you want to move to the next slide? So the reframe. I hate the word balance, so much so that people around me now don't even use the word balance. They'll say, well, all things in, and I'm like, don't use that dirty word around me. So for LinkedIn, BS is the dirty word. For me, balance is the dirty word. So instead of using the word balance, which insinuates that all things have to be perfect all the time, I want you to reframe that idea. And I want you to start thinking about your life in terms of alignment. So what does alignment mean? It means spending your time and energy only on the things most important to you. See, this is where things get a little bit, it's not just doing all of the things. It's doing and spending your time on the things that are most important to you. This is your takeaway for today. In pursuit of your biggest yes, you have to say no. In pursuit of your biggest yes, you have to say no. So that means that we have to spend a little bit of time. We're going to do it today, and then you're going to have some homework. You're going to do it later, and you're going to come find me on social media, and we're going to have a conversation about it. To do that, you have to determine where you're going to spend your time and attention. But first, we have to discover your areas of focus. Deborah said, alignment can be radical. Alignment is radical, and we're going to talk about how radical your life can be. See our lives through that lens. So balance is BS. Instead, we're going to talk about alignment. Erin, you want to move to the next slide for me? So how do we figure out where we're spending our time and attention? So a few years ago, probably 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, I started feeling this general sense of overwhelm and resentment, frankly. I was doing a lot of things. I felt obligated to do a lot of things, obligated to a lot of people. And I started thinking, what are the things that I'm doing and the people I am in relationship with that I am getting the same back from them or the same back from the output as I am the input? So I started really thinking about that. And I had a revelation. First of all, it was clear that I had a lot of ask holes in my life. LinkedIn, don't get freaked out. I said ask, A-S-K, ask holes. You know what an ask hole is? An ask hole is someone who asks something of you, but then does not give back to you in equal measure. So it's that person who calls you in crisis about whatever is going on in their life to ask you your advice. And you carve some time out of your day to sit with the person or be on the phone with a person, and you give them this amazing advice that they say, and then they go back to their life and they don't take any of your advice. And they have wasted your time because you've just spent your time, attention, and energy pouring into this person. And then they go off and do what they're going to do anyway, which that is true. People are going to do what they're going to do anyway. That's a little life lesson there. So very first thing I started to do was get rid of the ask holes. And I thought, what happens if I say no? What happens if someone says, hey, you got 5 minutes? And I say, you know what? I actually do not. And I don't explain it. I just say no. My Nana used to tell us when I was younger, no is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. So saying, no, I don't have the time. Or thanks so much for thinking of me. No, I'm not interested. Ask Erin, who I love and adore and will do anything for, how often I say no to her, right? Because I had to start getting really intentional about how I was spending my time and energy. So first layer for me was get rid of the ask holes. Stop responding to those emails. Stop responding to those text messages. Stop taking time out of my day to give to people who were only asking, right? Not just for advice, but for my time, for my resources, for my attention. Ask holes, you got to go, right? That's step number one. Step number two for me was What is mine to do? So, for folks who are in positions of authority or power, or just folks who are generally sort of high functioning, there is a pervasive belief that just because you can, you should. And I know that because I felt that for a very long time. So I have a very full plate, and then someone would ask me to do something, and I'd think, oh, I can do that. I can raise that money. I can throw that event. I can support that political candidate. I can run that organization. I can make that weekend trip. Oh, I can go to that party. And just because I could did not mean that I should. But I was having a hard time really trying to delineate what was mine to do and what was not mine to do. Okay. So I decided to create a little tool for myself using my core values. So I sat down and I tried to get as intentional as I possibly could about why I am here on planet Earth. And we're going to look at the wheel of alignment here in a second, which is this tool that I created. But your core values are broad concepts that can be applied over a range, over and over again, over a range of circumstances, as opposed to narrow answers to a specific question. So your core values are what you consider most important in your life, literally what you value. So I want a little bit of engagement here. I want you to sit for a second and think about what your core values might be. What are your core values? So I'll give you a tip, or I'll give you a little hint. One of my core values is love. And I'm gonna drink a little water while y'all think. Nurturing is another one of my core values. So these are values by which I can help delineate and make decisions by. Who wants to give me an example of one of your core values in the comment section? Listen, I don't have a live studio audience like Oprah, so I'm going to need some participation. Anyone? Peace. I love that's one of your core values. What a beautiful core value. Peace. Anybody else? Erin, what's one of your core values?
I didn't know I had to do homework.
Just off the top of your head. I would say connection is one of
Yeah,
your core values, right?
probably. We have a lot of people
Community.
watching. I don't know. Yeah, community is probably one of my biggest one. Okay,
Oh, I love it,
here
Amy.
we go.
Integrity and freedom. Yes. Self-validation. Love it. Integrity. Perfect. Yes. Grace. Amazing. Authenticity. I can really relate to that one. So these are your core values. These are the things that are your non-negotiables. These are the hinge point, the linchpins of which you're going to build your entire life. Those are your core values, okay? And then inside the wheel of alignment, you begin to think about your specific skill sets and the way those skill sets intersect your core values. So let's go to that wheel of alignment, Erin. So I created this tool because there are some examples: compassion, authenticity, creativity. Some of you said it: justice, impact. Yeah, there's the wheel. Boom, the wheel of alignment. So I have Erin in my life because she takes things like the wheel of alignment and names them something better and more creative. But for right now, that's our placeholder. But by the time I'm on Super Soul Sunday with Oprah, like, we're going to have a better name than the wheel of alignment. But the wheel of alignment. So your core values are on the outside. So there are my core values: love, transformation, inspiration, nurturing. And then just inside those core values are how I activate that core value. So let's take love, for example. Okay. So I activate my core value of love through relationship. So that means that the people that I'm giving my love to I'm in relationship, I've built a relationship with, which means that it's a two-way street. I give and I receive. Now, relationships over the the lifespan of a relationship, sometimes you're going to give a little bit more. Sometimes the other person is going to give a little bit more, but it should feel equitable, right? It should feel equitable. It should be like, I am giving to this relationship as much as I am receiving. And that might, kind of shift over time. But inside that wheel, you see it says my five, my five. So again, my Nana used to say, if you can count 5 people on your hand that are your people, that are you're on a desert island kind of human beings, then you are truly blessed. 5 people. That really starts to kind of clarify things, right? Because there is no room on the island for the assholes. There is no room on the island for those people who are taking more from me than I am, or taking more from me than they are giving to me, right? So, love, relationships, big 5, transformation is another one of my core values. I am on this planet to witness, to create space for, to inspire transformation, change, evolution. That is why I am here. That is why I am here. And so that's one of my core values. So that means in order to accomplish that, I have to be doing work that is centered in my heart, that aligns with my other values of nurturing, love, inspiration. So I am only doing work. I'm only showing up for things like this thing today where I believe I can spark transformation. So it says on the inside, I have to step a little closer so I can read it. Only do work that is an expression of who I am. I know that about myself. I couldn't go do a job that I didn't feel truly aligned with my mission of transformation. So then I have inspiration. So transformation and inspiration. I believe that inspiration is the fuel to transformation. So I believe that in order for me to inspire others, I have to really take care to find ways to be inspired. So being around people that are creative, travel, writing, self-care, all of those things are the ways I fuel my inspiration, because I want to stand up in front of groups of people and inspire aha moments, right? I want to be that person on the path as you're going down your path who says something that you think about a week later and you think, I remember that thing that she said. And it puts you on a path. So there are people who maybe your core value is to actually carry people down the path. My job is to put people on the path. That's why I'm here today. Transformation, inspiration, and the final core value is nurturing. I was put on the earth to nurture. So I aggressively co-parent my 6 nieces and nephews. You can ask my siblings. I don't have kiddos, but they're a huge focus in my life. I nurture plants, obviously animals, big animal rescue person. Ideas. I nurture ideas. I nurture spaces. I nurture people. So nurturing is one of my superpowers. If I had a cape behind me, it would have a big N on it for nurturing, right? So on the inside, it says the things that I'm most passionate about. So one of those is TGNC youth, trans youth. Another is anything that empowers or inspires women. And then any sort of social entrepreneurship is another big passion of mine. So we've got the core value on the outside. Then I've got the way I activate that core value. And as you're starting to think about what are the things for you, you need to create a list of what are your specific skills and talents, right? Okay, so let me give you an example. A few years ago, I wanted to really make a deep impact with the work that I do around political policy, political candidacy. So instead of giving money to a lot of different candidates that I support, I decided I was going to use my unique skills. So some of them are connection, networking, messaging, uh, amplifying, and I was going to find a candidate and I was going to help create a platform and amplify a candidate that I truly believed in to put them in a position so that they could represent my values, right? And so instead of doing a bunch of different things, I got focused on one person, one candidacy, and I drove that ball down the field, right? So in sports, you can be sort of good at everything or you can be a specialist. And oftentimes, if you're a specialist, you're going to get more playing time. You're going to be more effective, right? Uh, you're going to be called on in those big moments. So for me, it became really important to use my core values and my specific skill sets. And where those two things intersected, that's where I was going to put my time, attention, and focus. So that is the challenge for you today. That is the call for you today, is to figure out what your values are, what your skill sets are, and then you're going to do those things, and you're going to only do those things. This is where it really gets hard. So you're going to have to learn how to not do everything, how to be approached with a great idea or great opportunity or something that really tugs at your heartstrings and say, hey, let me refer back to my wheel of alignment. Does that really align with how I want to give, where I want to spend my time, energy, attention, focus? And you're going to find the answer more often than not is no, it's not. Right? So then you have to learn how to say no. So it's easier for some folks than others. I've stood in front of groups of people where people raise their hand and say, I say no all the time. And I just want to high five those people because they have already got something figured out that took me a very long time to learn. But here's the thing. Like I said before, in pursuit of your biggest yes, you have to say no. Life is about refinement, right? You can't do all things and expect to be great at all of them. So if your partner is a focus for you, if your kiddos are a focus for you, if your work is a focus for you, then those are the places you're spending your time, energy, and attention. And you're not getting distracted by, I have people say all the time, well, I'm not like you. I'm not an activist, or, I'm not involved in politics, but, and then they share with me what they are passionate about. And I say, yes, that is exactly it. Because imagine that. Imagine a world where you are doing the things you are most passionate about, you are best at, that are your core values, that you just like, you wake up in the morning, you're like, this is why I'm here. And then I'm doing that. And then everyone you know is doing that. Imagine that world, because that world, that world is the world I want to live in. And that is why I keep sharing this information over and over and over again, so that we can be freed from the belief that we have to do all things all the time, or that what someone else is passionate about is what we should be passionate about, what someone else is good at is what we should be good at. I have a friend who is an amazing mom, and we were just chatting the other day, and she was talking about, she had a career before she was just home with her, not just home with her kids, but home with her kids. And she said, I often get this interesting feedback when I tell people that I stay home with my kiddos, and it's often, oh, that's great. Like, oh, isn't that sweet? Isn't that great? And she's like, I feel like I almost have to justify what I'm doing by sharing what I did in my life before, which was a really high powered, cool, really amazing gig. And then when I share that, they're like, oh, okay. It's almost like it qualifies it a little bit more. And she's like, but I can't think of anything more important than raising 3 fully functional human beings who go out in the world and aren't broken and who are gonna make the world a better place. And I was like, yes, that is your legacy. That is where you're spending your time, attention, and focus. It might be for a time, it might be forever, but that is your calling. That is what you are here to do. So we have to move away from this belief that what someone else's passion and role and job should be our passion, role, and job. We just have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing it. And we have to stop qualifying what we're doing. Oh, well, I do this, but this, well, I do this, but I don't have kids. I do this. I do all of these things that I'm passionate about, and not qualifying it by saying, but. Okay. So that's really the challenge. So let's go back a couple of slides, Erin. Yeah. So I want to read you my, I'll do that here in just a second. So what is the result of living this way? Of saying no in pursuit of your biggest yes? I'll be honest, I was a little bit terrified when I started getting really clear about about how I wanted to live and about living this way. Because I thought, oh man, people are going to be mad at me. People are going to resent me. My life is going to get really, really small. But the reality is, my relationships, right? One of my values, ways I activate my values, my ability to create spaces that nurture, transform, and inspire. My life has exploded and exponentially. It's like Deborah said earlier, alignment can be radical. In fact, in a world that insists on balance and perfection, alignment is radical. Saying no is radical. Saying yes to the things meant for you is the goal. So my life didn't get smaller by me getting more focused on what was meant for me to do. My life actually expanded. And the areas of focus that I was pouring my time, attention, and talents into exploded. And I started getting all these really big wins because I was like, yes, this is for me. No, that is not for me. Yes, this is for me. No, that is not for me. And let me just be honest with you. This is not, it's not a paradigm where you say no to something right now and it doesn't become a yes later. An example for me is Fit Truck. So my business partner and I, Josh, he and I have been friends for 10 years. He was the first person I hired at City Gym as a personal trainer. We've worked out together 3 times. I pay him to train me so that he makes me do stuff I don't want to do, like pull-ups. But we've been training together 3 times a week for 10 years. So we talk all the time. And he has been telling me about this Fit Truck idea for 8 years. He'd say, we need to do this. We need to do this. We need to do this. Now's the time. And I would say, oh my God, this is such a great idea. I think it's genius. You need to do this. It is not for me to do right now. I am literally building a business right now. I can't get distracted by Fit Truck. It's not the right time. It's not the right time. It's not the right time. And I'd say, you should do this. You should do this. You should do this. So we closed for 2 months during the pandemic, because it has been a very hard time to be in the business of being inside, breathing hard, and touching things. And we got back together after a couple months hiatus, and we were training, and we looked at each other, and I said, "Fit truck, now is the time. We start today." And because I had the capacity and the focus, and I was using my wheel of alignment, and I knew what was meant for me to do, I knew exactly when it was the right time to say yes to Fit Truck. And because of it, I was able to pour myself into it. And we've been able to scale this amazing thing, fittruckkc.com. You got to check it out. It's unbelievable. To see it is to believe it. Fully equipped mobile outdoor gym. But I couldn't have done that 8 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years, 2 years ago. I was saying, no, 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 no. It's not for me right now. But because I knew what my values were and what was mine to do, when the time was right, I was able to make a decisive yes. And so that's really what I'm trying to encourage you to do today, is to figure out the things meant for you to do and the things for you to say no to. So let me give you another example. I know I am working outside of my wheel of alignment when I feel resentful about a thing I've committed to. So sometimes I'll say yes to, I don't know, a meeting or a coffee or something that I don't really want to do. And I have to, I see it on my calendar, and then I have to pump myself up for it. I'm like, oh, why did I say yes to this thing? I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh, what does this person want from me anyway? And I feel this overwhelming resentment. That is how I know I'm doing too many things that fall outside of that wheel of alignment. That is how I know, because I start to feel resentful. How do you feel? Cranky? Do you go home and you're snapping at your family because you give all of your good stuff out there, and then you come home and you have nothing left to give? I decided I wanted to give all my good stuff to the people who were on my island team, who were in my inner circle. They should be getting the best of me. And then the assholes, they get whatever is left over. But I had to reframe my mindset, and many of you do too, because you're giving all your good mojo out there and you're not saving anything for the stuff really meant for you to do, right? So I just want to read a comment over here. I think Becky Finner says, my fear of saying no is someone counts on me, will be disappointed in me, or judge for my choice. That is possible. That could happen. You could say no to someone and they could judge you for it, and they could be disappointed by it. But guess who's responsible for that judgment and that disappointment? Them, not you. So here's the other thing. Saying no is not easy. Saying no, there are consequences. There are consequences to saying no. Someone might judge you. Someone might think, oh, she thinks she's too good, or I'm disappointed because I was counting on her. I totally understand that feeling. That could absolutely happen. And yet, if you are working in your wheel of alignment, if you are focused on your core values and on your skills, time, where you're putting all your good energy and mojo, that while saying no might disappoint someone, it gives you the space to say yes to the things that are most meant for you. Okay? So that is going to happen. So let me tell you a funny little quirky thing. So I grew up in Kansas City. I swore I would never stay in Kansas City. I was going to move away to some big cosmopolitan city and never come back. So when I left for college at 18, I was like, peace out, in the rearview mirror. I thought I would never come home. Fast forward to today. I'm about to be 42. I've lived in Kansas City for the last 11 years. I went away. I lived in San Francisco and Germany and traveled the world and did all these amazing things. And then I was having breakfast with my sister for my grandma's 80th birthday, and she says, you should move back to Kansas City and open a gym. And I said, that's the dumbest thing anyone's ever said to me. And guess what I am doing? I am in Kansas City running a gym. But the point is that, I thought for sure Kansas City was a no. But as my values changed and I became more clear about what I wanted, Kansas City became this gigantic yes for me. And I made this choice to come back to Kansas City. And I freaking love it here. I am obsessed with Kansas City. It is the best, one of the best decisions I have ever made in my whole life is to come back to Kansas City. So here's another part of that. My entire family, I've got 2 siblings, a sister and a brother who are unbelievably amazing. My mom and dad live in Kansas City. We all live within 1 mile of each other. It's kind of gross. Anyway, we live so close together. We share an office. My brother and sister and I share an office. My sister teaches spin at City Gym. My brother is my videographer, photographer. Like, I'm walking in my neighborhood and I'm waving at my mom as she's walking the other direction. And yet, every single Wednesday, we have family dinner. Every Wednesday night, every Tuesday, I get a text message that says to our family thread, "Who's coming to dinner?" And I don't know why exactly, but every single time I get that text, I'm like, "We see each other all the time. I just want one evening to myself." And then I felt that way for a long time, and then I would go anyway. Because, you know, they're my family and I love them and all that sort of stuff. And then as I started really practicing this wheel of alignment, and I started thinking to myself, no, I am not available on Wednesday night just because I don't want to do anything on Wednesday night. Because I want to come home, I want to take my pants off. That's the first thing I do when I come home. I want to take my pants off and I just want to be in my house with all of my old rescue pets laying on top of me, and I want to watch Netflix. So I don't have a good reason, but I have the best reason. I am pantless and I have animals on me. That is the best reason, right? So I started practicing saying no to this family dinner. And I'd say, "I love you all so much. And I'm going to see you. I saw you yesterday. I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'll probably see you like when I'm getting gas or Starbucks or something. But I am unavailable on Wednesday evening. I cannot make it." And that was radical. People were like, "What do you mean you're not available? You live 1 mile from us. I see you all the time. I know what you're doing. You're not doing anything." And I still said, "Yeah, I know. And no, I'm not coming. I love you and I'm not coming." And there was some disappointment from some people in my family who were like, "Oh, you're not coming to family dinner?" There was some judgment from people in my family who were like, "Coming to family dinner?" But what I gained is that when I do choose to go to family dinner, oh, I can't wait to see those people. I am so pumped. I can't wait to see them and hug them and kiss them and have their children sit on top of me. I cannot wait. I'm not ever resentful now when I go to family dinner. I am so freaking present and so pumped. I put my phone down for 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I don't do anything else but be fully present with these people because I have made a choice. This is what I am doing now, right? So it's totally shifted my mindset about this thing that felt like an obligation that now is a choice. Kansas City felt like the place I had to be, but it's a choice. I choose to be here. Family dinner, I get to choose that now, right? Here's the other thing that happened because I started saying no. Because I started saying no, I gave other people in my family permission to, you know what? Say no. So every once in a while, other family members will be like, family dinner, roll call, blah, blah, blah. And they'll be like, "Oh, we're out. Oh, we can't do it. Oh, we have a conflict. Oh, talk about radical, Deborah. That was it, like freed all of us by me having boundaries and saying no. It gave all of us permission to be honest about what our boundaries were and permission to say no. And now when they come, they're choosing to be there too. So when we all show up in the same space, we are choosing to be there, and it has deepened our relationships with one another. There is more realness and authenticity simply because we made a decision that we weren't going to do things out of obligation. We were going to do things out of choice. And that resonates for relationships, both personal and professional. That resonates for jobs, work efforts, volunteer efforts. There is power in that choice, both in your ability to be present and in your work product, right? Yes. So that is really where we are. And let's see if I don't think I have it. No, I don't. I was going to read you my mission statement. I don't think I have it. Aaron, why don't I have it? But it goes something like this.
Post it. They can follow you and you can post it.
See, this is why Aaron is in my life. But basically, in summation, it's like I'm on planet Earth to radically inspire people to self-care, all forms of self-care, personal, professional, spiritual, mind, spirit, body, self-care. Because if I can inspire you to be a little bit better version of yourself, and you go out in the world, that ripple effect takes place, right? And then you're a little bit better spouse, parent, sibling, family member, community member, employee, colleague, coworker, cousin, all of the titles that you have. If I can inspire you to be just a little bit more your biggest, best version of yourself, then that can change the world. So I can't change the world, but I can inspire one person. I can put someone on the path. I can nurture. I can love. And in that way, things ripple out. And that's where real change happens. And that is why I'm here. And that is why I use the wheel of alignment. And that is why I'm calling on all of you to do the same thing. So your homework, core values, no more than 4 overachievers. Some of you are like, I have 22 core values. So it's going to be like really hard for me to have no, 4 at the most. 4. What your skill sets are, where those two things intersect, those are your sweet spots. Those are the places I want you to start spending your time, attention, and talent on. Because imagine a world where we're all doing that, where we are all giving the very best of ourselves to the things meant for us to do. I want to live in that world. So I also want to invite you, if anyone has questions, we're going to do a little bit of Q&A.
Good job, Hailee. Look at these comments. I knew people needed this. You've helped Michael refocus. JD says yes. Ryan says he feels like you are living inside of his head right now.
Ryan, I am living inside of your head right now. You didn't know it.
Say no to pull-ups as well.
Amen.
Jessica says City Gym's a testament to exactly this.
Thank you.
Chapman says one of my favorite people of all time. She walks her talk. Shelly says
Jeff.
she totally agrees. Hailee's amazing. Inspiration, transformation, nurture, and love. Perfect. Richard said, it's pretty awesome. I'm really grateful for your presentation. I must meet you sometime. Richard, I got the hookup on introducing you to her.
So read this comment from Becky. It says, it's ironic that you're encouraging us to say no to keep ourselves aligned, but there's a picture behind that says turn up the yes. But what? To achieve your biggest yes, you have to say no. Turn up the yes is the same thing as saying turn up the friggin' no. You cannot turn up the yes if it's being crowded out by all the crud that is your no. That's not ironic. That's freaking intentional. Turn up the yes. Heck yes. And want better, not more. Kansas City. Drink some coffee, put on gangster rap, and handle it. And of course, Dolly Parton, who is a personal icon of mine, not for the hair, although she is my hair inspiration sometimes, not for the lips, but for the way she lives her life, right? Dolly Parton is very clear about who she is. She has been since birth, what she brings, what her gifts are, and then she pours herself into that. And what has she created? She has created a legacy that transcends boundaries and traditional sort of things that keep us closed off from each other. She's inspired a human movement of people just simply by being who she is and doing what she is meant to do, right? Yeah, so those are why those folks are on the wall. And then this is a birthday present over here from Erin. Find out who you are and do it on purpose. It's like she's in my head, right?
Well, look, we have some questions coming, or maybe there's so many people are so excited. I don't know. If you have a question, get in here. We only have a couple more minutes. To have a quality yes, you need to be able to say no. Look, you got Michael going.
Yeah, Michael, you got it. That's exactly right. In pursuit of your biggest yes, you have to say no. You just have to.
Let me ask you a question while we wait on some questions right here, because I'm terrible. You already know I'm terrible at saying no, right? I'm really bad at saying no. How do you initially get past that uncomfort? Like, is there any tricks, right? Like, I had to say no to something a few weeks ago, and it was a voicemail, and I texted back. I know that's like kind of the cowardly way, but are there any tricks that you did that got you more comfortable, like baby steps you did to say no?
It's just, you just have to keep practicing. And so in the beginning, I would say no and kind of qualify it, you almost have to just embrace the discomfort, and it gets a little less uncomfortable. And then sometimes it's really uncomfortable again. Sometimes I'll say no in this way. If I really do legitimately mean it, I'll say, thank you for thinking of me. It's a no right now, but that might change.
Yeah.
Because and I know you, Erin, you're such a networker. It's your superpower. You're always like kind of planting seeds and building relationships. And so I know you don't want to turn someone off who might be, a potential partner in the future. So that could be a really good strategy. You could say, oh my gosh, this sounds so exciting and super interesting. It's a no for me right now because I've got some things on my plate I want to see through, but it might not be a no forever. Can I circle back with you if I feel like I can make this a yes? So then you're telling the person, hey, this is a great idea. I'm not saying no because I don't like you or I'm a jerk. I'm saying no because I've got a lot on my plate that I want to see through all the way through. And I think I might be able to help in the future. Let me tell you another thing I've learned in the last 18 months. I've learned to say, I don't know. I don't know. Because COVID, this pandemic, has forced me as a business owner to work every single day in that day. And as an entrepreneur, we're supposed to be projecting. We're supposed to be what's happening in the future. What's next? And then every single day I have to be in my business and be in my body. And there are times when someone asks me a question about something that I don't know. Around mask mandates. Well, when do you think, or what do you do? And I'm like, I don't know. But here's what I do know. I know that when I have the information, I'll make the best decision I can. And too often, I think this is, I hate to gender things, but I think women do this a lot. We think we have to have the answer. We have to be a leader. You have to be decisive. You have to say, yes, no, right now. Yeah. Oh, this we're going to go this direction. Let me just invite you to get off of that roller coaster. You do not have to know right now. In fact, there is so much wisdom in saying, I don't know. Let me think about it. Give me a few days. I want to gather more information. I want to talk to some folks because I want to make the very best decision. And I don't know right now. Let me think about it. Because here's what I know. When I think about it and when I get more information, I know.
Right.
I'm going to come up with the right answer. If I'm just deciding top of my, just off the fly, just because I want someone to approve of the speed in which I am making a decision, I don't care about the speed. What I care about is the long-term impact of the decision. So I'm going to say, that's a really good question. I don't know. Let me think about it. That has been radical for me. That's been really life-changing for me.
I love that. Tanya loves, it's a no right now. She likes that. Sometimes it's really just a timing issue. And Denise says she's super excited. Is it weird? Here's our only question. Is it weird I'm excited to do my homework?
No, because I'll tell you what, if you really do commit yourself to this practice, it's a life transforming practice. And it is something that you can go back to your wheel of alignment. It's not immutable. Your values might change, or something might be of a different focus for you. And even some of those things that I thought were meant for me, 6 years ago, I've refined even more. I mean, if COVID, the silver lining of COVID, and the pause that we've all been in, has taught me anything, it's that I was saying no all the time, and I was still saying yes too much. I was still using this busy kind of like bing, bang, bang around mentality to dissociate from what I should be feeling. And the second I didn't have a meeting to run to, or a lunch to do, or a group to speak in front of, or a trip to go on, or a party to attend, and I just had to sort of sit and be quiet and listen, I realized that there was still a lot in my life that was not meant for me to do. And I got to kind of clarify even further what is meant for me to do, which again, that's why I'm here today, because this is a yes for me. This is a yes on so many levels. There have been times you've asked me to do other things, Erin, right? And I've been like, love you, babe, no. Or just no, I can't right now. No. And you're like, when are you going to say yes to me?
You're making me sound desperate for our friendship.
No, gosh, no. I don't mean desperate. You're great at offering me opportunities. You're amazing at that. You bring like Erin is such an amazing amplifier of people, and specifically of women. She is so incredible at getting people in front of other people, and you have offered me so many amazing opportunities, and there have been a lot that I have said no to.
And you've answered, no, it's not on my wheel.
It's not on my wheel.
Oh, you've answered, and I appreciate that about you.
Do you think Oprah is going to be cool with it called the Wheel of Alignment, or do we need to come up with a better name?
Well, I think we should. We'll work on some stuff behind the scenes.
Sphere of possibility, the circle of transformation. I don't know, something.
Just from my marketing, like let's talk about it offline so that people don't go get the URLs and the handles.
Oh yeah, okay, good.
Richard said you've given him a different way to think about the holidays, and I think this is a great point because
yes,
and for 2022, like there's more stuff now because everybody's been cramped forever. Everybody's having a thing, so this is really great.
Yes, absolutely. You can, and you should. You have to use the holidays as a time to practice this. Maybe it's, no, I'm not going to get into the frenzy of gift giving, or no, I'm not going to bing bang around to 6 different things on Christmas Day. It's, yes, I'm going to create experiences instead of gifts, or yes, I'm going to really focus on my family. We're just going to spend time together as a family. And it is a total yes. And we love you all, and we'll see you at other times. You're really valuable to us. Definitely use the holidays. I'll tell you what, I have stopped booking myself back to back all day long. It used to be I'd wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I would be back to back until 8 o'clock at night. And that was every day of the week, Monday through Friday. And then I was working Saturday mornings, and Sunday was really my only day off. And now I'm booking 2 and 3 weeks out. And I say that, hey, I'm booking 2 and 3 weeks out because I refuse to do more than 4 things in a day. That means I can go take an hour-long walk in the afternoon, not because I'm being lazy or because I'm shirking my responsibility, but because when I get outside and I move my body and I breathe, I'm way more creative. I'm way more patient. Those things that I've said I don't know the answers to, I often come up with the answer when I'm just out of my environment. I'm walking and I'm being outside. And Erin knows we walk together a lot. Walking for me has become just a really powerful tool. Becky too. She's on this. We've had a meeting and I was like, okay, girl, we're going to walk. So if you're scheduling a meeting with me, the chances are that I'm going to say, let's walk and talk, because it's become a really powerful tool for me that I would have never learned if my life had remained so overly scheduled and so crowded. I never gave myself time to think. I'll tell you what, one of the most wonderful things that I get to do is I have a niece who her elementary school is within walking distance to my house. And I will text my brother and I'll say, I've got pickup today. And I walk to my niece's school and I'm standing there when she comes out the door. And it's often a surprise that I'm going to be there because she's used to her mom or dad picking her up. And her face lights up. And we have this little 10, 15-minute walk back to her house. And she downloads her day, and we're fully present with one another. And then I give her a big kiss and put her into her home. And I walk back, and that I would have never given myself permission to do that pre-COVID. I would have never. And now it is one of the most fulfilling things that I do. So when you start saying no, and you start really reclaiming time that is meant to be used on things meant for you to do, you get those kind of magical moments that you never knew you even needed, right, until you had the space to have those moments.
Well, I love that you put her in her home. Like how you said that. Listen, we're right on time. So we've got a couple questions. First of all, Vicky says, thank you. There's a ton of people on here that say thank you to Hailee. Hailee, thank you guys so much for coming. Amanda asks, is this session have a recording to re-listen to? Yes, go to the Lillian James Creative YouTube. Hold on, I'm doing a lot of tech over here. I do not want to let you off of here until we say, Hailee just launched Fit Truck KC. She has been talking about this. You are currently looking for businesses to partner with to come in.
That's right.
So is this the best way to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. There's a contact form on there. Reach out to me, watch the video, go to the About page, watch the video. Like I said, it's a fully equipped mobile outdoor gym. We are not working out inside the truck. We are working out outside of the truck. We can come to you. We can partner for wellness events. We could do bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, wellness events. We want to partner with corporations that are in alignment with what we do. We can bring the truck to you for events for the folks that work for you, or as promotional events for the people that use your space. Isaac is on here. We've talked about bringing Fit Truck out to the parking lot of Yogurt Teeny and doing some cross-promotional stuff too. So think outside the box, and that happens to be our slogan, fitness outside the box. So check that out.
I love it. You can also follow Hailee on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Oh, and almost about to be TikTok in a couple weeks here. So,
which is terrifying.
But she said yes because it's within the will of alignment.
I did. I said no so long. No. And then finally I said yes. So you're going to be getting all kinds of like bang, 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 bang TikToks from me.
We got people on Turner. Right? We got all sorts of people over here. So one last word of wisdom, and then we're going to go.
One last word of wisdom is, I want to live in a world where you are doing exactly what is meant for you to do, and you're doing it with passion and with enthusiasm, because we've really been granted an opportunity the last 18 to 22 months. We've been given an opportunity to come out of this different, not to go back to normal, but to let this time change us and to let ourselves lead from the lessons we have learned. So that's my invitation to you. Glean those lessons that you've learned, go out, be the biggest, best version of yourself. And then as I'm walking by on one of my walks, I'll high five you.
Thank you so much, Hailee. Thank you, everybody over here. Make sure you connect with Hailee, and we will see you next month.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.